We shouldn't have come back. Yo, you sir.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Eric Reagan here with Photography Bay, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Nest Cam outdoor security camera. And there's a very specific reason I'm reviewing this camera instead of something like we normally review, like a DSLR or mirrorless or point and shoot or dedicated cinema camera. This is obviously a security camera, not really intended for photography purposes, although there have been some pretty cool time-lapse videos made, and you can find some pretty cool things captured with Nest cameras with unique point of views if you dig around on YouTube. But I'm a part owner in a bookstore here in my hometown, and several months ago, well, last year, we had a problem with people breaking into the warehouse area and stealing little things here and there. So I bought a one camera just to cover a portion, and then added on. Now I've got two cameras, and I've just bought a 2-pack so now I have a total of 4 cameras. So one of the things that's so great about the Nest camera is how easy it is to set it up and maintain the cameras. It's super convenient. You've got access on your cell phone, Apple, Android, and then desktop for live view, and then scrolling back through the archives throughout the day up to 10 days or 30 days depending on your plan. There's no hard drives to set up. If you've got Wi-Fi, you can connect with your Nest camera. You just plug it into a power outlet and position it where you want it. It's easy to mount, and then you've got quick access and live view 24/7 on an app for Android or your iPhone, and you can even pull it up on your laptop, and it's got talkback. You can talk back to if there's people in at your front door. You can tell them, hey, leave it on the porch, or don't steal my packages. There's plenty of use cases of that you can find again on YouTube or even on Nest's website. And I was really excited about this camera after the wild Christmas weekend that we had. Flashback to December 23rd. I had a long, busy day, and I came in to the house and finally sat down on the couch, and I think I turned on Daredevil or something on Netflix. And as I was just getting going into the episode, I get an alert on my phone. This thing actually senses motion and will give you an alert that pops up on your phone. And when I walked in here actually today, it says your camera noticed some activity. And if it spots people, it will say, it can recognize faces and say your camera noticed a person in the particular area that you've named. So maybe 10 or 15 minutes into my episode, 11:15 at night, I get a notification on my iPhone, and as I open it up, it gives you an animated GIF of whatever the video clip is of the motion that is detected. And I see 3 people walking around in the warehouse area. And as I'm looking at this, I realize, well, there should be nobody here at 11:15 at night, and realize that we've got a break-in. I tell my wife what's going on, and I get in the car, and as I'm driving to the warehouse, I'm about 20 minutes away, I call 911 and tell the police we've had people vandalizing stuff on the backside of the warehouse. So I tell them that's probably where they're coming in at, and send one officer at least on the backside of the warehouse in case they come out that direction. And as I get closer, I get a notification that my camera's gone offline. And when you go back in and you look at the footage, you can see they notice the camera, they notice the light on the camera, and they climb up and unplug it. I'm 2 or 3 minutes away, and as I pull in, I see the police are already here. They've done a great job, great response time, and they've got the building kind of surrounded with a perimeter. And I get out of the car, and they're on one end of the building. They find an open door, and they're going in with their K9 units. So as I'm standing out front, about 20 minutes, it's a pretty large warehouse, and we've just got a small portion of it, but there's several other tenants in here. As they're searching through, I hear commotion in our store area. And the police officers had all gone inside, but I was the only one left standing out front. And some of you know this, and some of you don't, but I used to be a police officer 15, 20 years ago. And so I was familiar with what was going on, and yeah, they probably should have left somebody out front, but I was standing out front on the chance that somebody comes out. Well, sure enough, somebody comes out our store doors and turns toward me, and they're probably, I don't know, 10 feet away from me.
We shouldn't have come back. Yo, you said.
Get down off the ground!
So as I'm running and chasing them, I'm yelling and taunting them, and the foot pursuits that I had, 15, 20 years ago, it just snapped right back into it. So we go out of the 60, 80 yards down the street, and I finally catch up, grab one, we go down to the ground, arms out, just, all that stuff comes back automatic. And by that time, we finally had some police officers come out of the building, and they slap handcuffs on this guy, and then they chase the other guy down and catch him. Well, as it turned out, these kids, these teenagers, had been in the warehouse causing all kinds of damage for several hours, and they had just finally passed in our area where we had a camera, and sent me the motion detection. They've been another part of the warehouse. They've done $15,000 to $20,000 worth of damage inside the warehouse, setting off fire extinguishers, getting in forklifts, driving them around the warehouse, running into things, picking up just general mayhem. But and that's bad enough as it is. But had I not gotten the notification from my Nest camera, they could have been in here all night. They could have burnt the place down. They could have. There's tenants in here that have concrete and lumber that are stacked, 3-4 pallets high, and they could have knocked some of that stuff over and killed themselves. So who knows what would have happened? But they had been in here for several hours at that point, and had they stuck around, had I not gotten a notification from the camera, who knows what on earth could have happened. Fortunately, of our inventory, they only damaged, I don't know, maybe $500, maybe $1,000 worth of stuff, but just generally made a mess of things. So we've got some man hours in terms of cleaning that up and whatnot. But just for additional coverage, I went out the next week and bought two more. They had a 2-pack special for $349. These generally run, I think, about $200 for one of the outdoor cameras, and they had a special where you get 2 of them for $349. And I wanted one for my house for the front door, and I'm always paranoid about packages. We've got good neighbors that keep an eye on things, but it just takes a second, and you've seen the package thief videos. So I'm going to put one on the front of the house, and then another one for some more coverage, just additional coverage in the warehouse to make sure we've got all areas covered, and then again continue to get notifications and be able to deal with it if something happens. But generally, just the peace of mind. Before we got the cameras, I was always worried at night about what was going on. I'm not there, nobody's there, and so the peace of mind of having a camera to where I can pull up my phone at any time and get a live view of my stuff, no matter what it is, where it is worth the $200 for a camera. And so right now they've got a couple of different ways. None of this is stored. None of this is stored locally. It's all stored in the cloud. You connect to the Wi-Fi. It's a simple setup. You scan a barcode with your app on the back of the camera, and that connects the camera to your account. And at that point, now you don't have to pay for it just to be able to view your camera. But the valuable thing, the service that they offer, is you can pay for the cloud storage so that you can go back. And what I do is I pay $10 a month for 10 days of storage. Now that's for the first camera. And each additional camera after that is $5 for 10 days of storage. Or you can pay by a year. And so that's actually what I do, is I pay $100 per year for the first camera, and then $50 per year for each additional camera after that. So I'll pay $250 a year for 4 cameras of coverage, and it's worth every penny for the service, the troubleshooting. I've had these running for probably about 10 10 months now, maybe 11 months, and we've had them running most of 2017, and there's very little troubleshooting. There's very little problems that we've had with them. The biggest thing is, our internet sometimes has gone out and we've had to reset the router, but that's been pretty rare. We've had pretty reliable service here. And then when the router comes, if there's a power outage, your modem starts back up, your router starts back up, and the camera automatically starts back up and connects to your Wi-Fi. And that's probably the most common thing where we see the camera go out. And you'll get a notification that, and we see it happen when there's thunderstorms in the area. We'll have, I'll get a notification that, hey, your camera went offline. And that's generally something I'm not worried about if there's a predictable reason in the area why. But in the case where we had the burglars and vandals inside, I could see them, and you can still see the footage up to the point where they unplugged the camera. So that's pretty cool. And for the price and the low level of learning curve in installation and maintenance of these cameras, I think it's worth every penny that they cost. I think it's an affordable camera that they offer for $200, and then the service, I think, for $100 for the first camera, and then $50 a year for each additional camera after that. Or if you want to pay monthly, you can break that down into smaller increments. But they also offer a 30-day coverage plan where you can go back 30 days of your footage. So you can go back 30 days of your footage and pull out clips and review it. But for me, if something has happened, I'm going to know it within 10 days, and then I can scroll back, find those clips, export them out. And the exporting the clips is a little bit not as precise on the iPhone app, but you pull it up on your desktop or laptop, you can really fine tune where the in and out points are, export those out, and then you can even make the link shareable to where you can send the link to the Nest archive to someone else. And so what I usually do is I just download it to my laptop, and then can deal with it however after that. So that's pretty much the basics of the outdoor camera. And based on what I've seen, and I've never tried one of the indoor cameras just because of the mounting options. The outdoor cameras always work best for us, even though it's been indoor. We can put it up on a wall, and the indoor camera may have those options too. But this is the outdoor camera's pretty weatherproof and pretty rugged. It mounts up with a little mounting plate that goes into the wall. There's a magnet that attaches to that, just snaps to it, pretty strong magnet. And then the camera itself has either a metal part or magnet in the back that snaps into the magnet. So then you can kind of swivel it and turn it where you want to get the view that you want. It's a very wide angle view. And then on the app, you can even pinch and zoom in to certain sections if you want to get a closer look. The resolution is 1080 on these. I believe there's a 4K option for the indoor camera. I'm not sure if there's an outdoor 4K option yet. Night vision is pretty impressive, how well it looks when all the lights are out. It does have a infrared light on the camera. Obviously, human eye can't see it, but it illuminates a pretty decent size area, maybe up to 20-25 feet away pretty well. And you get pretty good footage for night vision. I was really impressed the first time that I looked at that. So, of course, to stream, though, you're going to have a broadband connection. Nest says you need 5 megabits upload speed. We've got 10 with our basic business cable here, and then I think most home cable internet packages you're going to have at least 10. If you're on DSL or something, you may want to check on those specs and look at other user reviews of people that have DSL and have used Nest cameras. But you can change the quality, which is going to be compression between low, medium, and high. We have it on the medium setting, which is default. That resolution works well enough for us. But if you've got a larger area, the camera's going to be further away, you may want to bump it up to higher resolution so you can get that zoom in quality, and you've got a little less compression and kind of jaggies there on your area that you're recording. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Nest Cam outdoor security camera. Highly recommended for me if you've got an area where you're concerned about it, or you just want more peace of mind, whether that's home, business, or whatever that you want to cover. It's a great option, affordable option, and convenient of just being able to connect to Wi-Fi. So I hope you've enjoyed this review of the Nest Cam outdoor camera, and I hope you enjoyed the little story where we got to catch some bad guys. So that was a lot of fun, and I'll see you on the next one.